back in the medieval color, or no, my gosh, no, not medieval color at all, medieval charter challenge neighborhood that I've been working on. I took a tiny bit of a break just because I wanted to, and now we're back. So we're working on the Tundra Jarl lot today. This is a bit different than the ones I've done so far. I intend for them to be, I guess, nomadic, but obviously in The Sims it's kind of a pain in the butt. So they'll be on one lot, but like their homes will be made of tents. It'll be clear that they travel. That's where we're going with this. The slight problem is, of course, I'm trying to do this, at least my initial attempt, I try to do it without downloading anything new. And of course I don't have any tents, so I was building little huts. We'll see. I know I can come up with something better, but yeah. I don't know if I want to download tents and then just kind of like maybe have one of these to serve as their this is where we eat kind of thing, and this is where the bathroom is. I don't know. Because I could do this. I could even put them up on fake platforms, like with... I could do like wagons and put them up on platforms and pretend they're wheels. I don't know. I really haven't decided yet, even though I've done like the initial lot. I still want time to think about it. But for now, I mean, they look kind of like tents, and we did an okay job. You'll notice there's no roads. Again, I was really trying to lean into the idea that this is not a location where they stay in one place all the time. And I will set the weather, because this is a specific neighborhood all on its own. So once we're actually going to play, the weather here will be winter, probably for 2 seasons. Like, I just don't think it's necessary for them to have a spring. So it will be like winter, or like fall, winter, summer. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for these guys. I think this area makes me the most nervous, but it's also the area that I've worked on the most in terms of what I'm going to do. I do know that I need to download some type of like caribou or reindeer situation, because I want those. I know that I've got like the food of those, but the idea was that those were the animals that would be pulling any of their wagons or things. They're also going to have griffins, which excites me, and yeah, this is the one area that I've completely mapped out what careers will be available to them. They actually have a really strict naming list. They can only have names that are on a list. So names that end in K are very common, names that mean like any type of animal in other languages. There's a lot of usage of the letter Q, and I mostly use Intuit, Greaselantic, and I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but Mapuche names. And all names are also unisex, so there's no gendered naming. But there's not a lot of names, so if this goes on for a while, we're going to get some name repeating. I don't know if I'm going to number people or how we're going to handle that, but there will be some name repeating if we get several generations in. In terms of careers, I know that the peasants will allow to be fishers, foragers, miners, midwives, healers, painters, hunters, butchers, and trappers, specifically for hides. I do also have piper, juggler, street performer, busker, and gypsy matchmaker on that list. I know I probably should say Romney matchmaker, but that's what it's called in the game, and I'm sorry. I know it's a bad word. For the yeomen, there's the market gardener, herdsman, specifically reindeer. They'll have cows, so Highland cows in like shades of black and gray. Taverner Brewster, barber surgeon, only up to level 2. Or no, this was... I have been toying with the idea of like them leveling up and getting more things, so for now it says level 2, but barber surgeon, tinker, tailor, seamstress, and toy maker. And then the gentry do a lot of archery. They have horses, which I didn't put horses on this lot for our little Jarl, so maybe I should give him horses. And then they are, you know, knights, military, meh. Yeah, I'm just trying to see. I don't think I really... Braids are a huge thing here, so male and female Sims will have braided hair. Female Sims are probably going to have teeny tiny braids. Male Sims will have kind of larger sort of braids. I don't know. Braided hair. At first I wanted this to be like the Arctic, but I was like, yeah. There will be, as well, like the community lots are going to be seen as like outposts, so they're not like a static village, but people go there and they congregate there because they don't travel every single day. It's probably, I can see, like every 3 months sort of thing. It was very inspired by Alaska and the Inuit people, but again, this is all fantasy, so it's, I mean, they have giant griffins with them, so I would hope that that would hammer that home. I would love to find a way for them to like make jewelry. That's the one thing that I kind of lack, that I don't think that there's any CC for, is like jewelry making. Because I know there's like the pottery station, but like there's no like clay beads. But otherwise, you know, stone carving, weaving, fishy hunting. They're going to keep to themselves a bit. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see, because they're going to be so different to play from the other places, because everyone else has like a rock solid location where they stay. Meanwhile, these guys are supposed to travel the whole of the Tundra map, going where they please. Oh goodness, I'm kind of tired. I'm actually dealing with a broken tooth situation, and I have nothing pre-recorded because I've reached the end and I was going to do a whole bunch, and then I broke a tooth, so I'm going to the dentist in a couple days. I couldn't even Twitch stream because my mouth hurt so bad at the time. I had to take a painkiller and I just slept. And I feel better, and I know like hippy-dippy stuff gets, you know, kind of dogged on in the world, and it should. Like, you should probably get vaccinated and not trust that if you rub honey on your shoulders you'll be fine. But I will say clove oil is amazing for tooth pain. It's actually what they used to use historically, and I'm sure a lot of what is in clove oil is used as a basis for, like, I don't even know the name of the tooth gels and stuff that they sell for pain, because I don't use them because they don't work, or they stop working very quickly, whereas clove oil, it will make you drool and it tastes awful, but it is effective. But you have to be careful. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, I'm just talking about personal experience as someone who has suffered greatly with tooth problems my whole life, because yay EDS. As you can see, I'm just grabbing all of the spawners I had. I have a ton of just Tundra specific, like Arctic type spawners, which is great. I finally get to use them. There are going to be penguins. I'm actually going to probably download those deco penguins from Blackie Sims Zoo and put them everywhere. I regret nothing. You can see I'm kind of putting carts down as well because I do want them to be mobile. So I want this to read as this is a temporary setup that they stay in for a few months and then they move on. I think they're probably going to be my most chill group of Sims. Like, so far, like, the desert's pretty, you know, but I don't think that the Tundra Jarl is really going to be in it to win it. Because the goal of this challenge is, yes, it's a medieval charter challenge, but each area is trying to achieve, I think, cityhood or whatever, and for me, I'm taking that as I'm applying that challenge to each of these locations. So whoever, you know, has a city first is actually going to become the royal family of the MCC. Like, they will be the leaders, and everyone else is kind of depending on how quickly they achieve, because they all have to beat it. So I basically have to beat the medieval charter challenge in every single location. But like the order that they beat it in determines the titles that they'll get. So after the royal family is assigned, the next one is going to be a duke, because I'm not going to have marquis. The next one will be a count. The next one will be an earl. And like the last people are kind of just going to be knights. I'm not going to demote any of the Jarl families, but they're no longer going to be in charge kind of thing. Maybe. I don't know. I might make everybody have a title, but we'll see. I'm not that far yet. I have to play through, which is why I haven't posted the rules. It just makes me nervous to post things that I personally haven't done, and yeah. That's why I haven't posted the Oregon Trail Challenge rules yet either. And probably why I know I've been saying that it was going to be Twitch, but like I'm so weird and anxious about life that I think I'm actually going to record those as videos. Because I'm not 100% set on the rules yet, and the fact that I'm not set at the rules yet means that if I am live and streaming, my brain is I'm just gonna go to a loading screen in my head because if something comes up that I didn't think about. Because when I'm doing this, like, I can pause the game, I can pause the recording, and I can think about it. But when it's like something unexpected happens, like the other day, I have a cleaning service, and they accidentally broke, like I have this lamp that has like these glow bulb things. Accidentally broke one. Not a big deal. My brain, like, I just stopped responding like a computer for 10 minutes because first I was like, well, I hope it's not expensive. Some things like that, like it's cheaper to just get a whole new lamp, but I'm like, oh, I hope it wasn't expensive. I don't really want to make them pay for it. Like, I just went through this whole journey not responding. Meanwhile, this poor woman is standing next to me, like, apologizing, thinking I'm upset, and I'm like, no, I'm not upset. I'm just loading. It's fine. So yeah, Oregon Trail Challenge is probably going to be on YouTube instead because that is the way that I am. Which does mean that I need to come up with something for my Sims 2 days when I'm not just fiddling around. Although I was able to play Adiran on stream the other day and it worked. It did crash at one point, and obviously the loading screens are not ideal. But maybe Adiran on Twitch is the way to go. Because I've never recorded playing Adiran for like YouTube or anything because I know how I play and I know I'm slow and pause a lot, and yeah. I also know that, yeah, I'm playing through a Sims round, but then I end up taking lots of screenshots and then make up a story to go with the screenshots and to kind of go with what happened, but obviously I'm making things up because it's the Sims and a lot of those things are not necessarily happening. I had a Sim get kidnapped. She's not going to experience emotional fallout as a Sim, but I can write about it. So I think maybe having Adiran on Twitch would be a nice common ground with obviously the caveat that I'm going to write whatever I want. The gameplay is separate from the story. I'm still a little torn on it though, just because I know if it crashes like midstream, it's going to take 20 minutes to load. What do I do then? Do we just have a little conversation? Do I whip out the embroidery? I don't know. I mean, I guess. It's too bad I can't like open like a smaller game while The Sims 2 is loading, but it usually doesn't work. Yeah, we're pretty much just putting in final touches. I did decide to put some trees. I'm not going to fill the neighborhood itself with lots and lots of trees because I don't want it to be a forest. I want this to be kind of like tundra-y, like open, either snowy or scrubby looking areas. But the areas where they're at, I think would have trees because it's like they've maybe cultivated that over time. That's why even though they travel, like they're going to rotate through known areas, sort of how medieval kings would go through their castles, but in this case they don't have like full-on structures that they're going to go see. They're just like, okay, we're going to go to the summer grounds, we're going to go where we go in the winter, we're going to go where we go in the fall. So having trees is not detrimental on the lots. It's just I'm not going to put a ton outside of the lots. I'll put a little just to make it blend, but just a few. Although I probably should have put the trees that they can chop down in retrospect. I'll probably change that. Yeah, and then I had this nice little scrubby grass that I had downloaded, so I was like, alright, this is perfect. This is exactly what it needs to be. I didn't want a lot of landscaping, like there really shouldn't be. The only reason there's even as much here as there is because this is a place where they're kind of habitating? Habitating? That's a word, right? I don't know. Words are hard. I'm so excited. I finally got to eat lunch today. Because with my mouth the way it is, eating has become a journey. And yeah, I could have pot stickers and then something else. I don't remember. It was very good. There was like glass noodles and these little like crumbles of pork is how I'm going to describe it. Like not dry, but like crumbled up pork. It was delicious. And then shrimp. Very happy with it. I think it was Thai food, but I don't know. I don't remember. I don't ask too many questions. I just eat the good food. I thought about putting a couple different types of grasses, but I didn't, it was not necessary. And the goal of this limited CC neighborhood is I'm not putting in anything else that doesn't need to be there. I just need to sell the idea, and as long as I'm selling the idea, I don't have to go, you know, the extra mile to really download a bunch of stuff that'll probably bring it over the top, but it would also make it run slower. Okay, I do place these. I forgot. I do. I place some grass, but that's it. And it looks fine. Like, honestly, I could leave it the way it is, and I could have left all of them the way they are. It's just, this is my tester, and then I'm going to elevate it a little bit, and then we're going to go with what I did. It'll be fine. I do think I want to download the tents, but I don't know. Let me know what you think. If you know of any really cool CC that would go with this type of area, let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a like, and I will see you in the next one.